All right, what's good, y'all? So, I just want to review this movie. So, Soul with Pixar. Joe Gardner was played by Jamie Foxx, and I have to say this was a beautiful movie from Pixar. Shouts out to Double Toasted. They were stating that Pixar really didn't have so many African Americans in movies. Like they have their own plot, but I feel like this was good. This was very creative, man. I gave it a chance, and I have to say, this is probably one of the best Pixar movies I ever seen. It's comparison to maybe not as sad, but this was pretty much just meaningful. I'm gonna say more inspiration. And what I like about this, Joe Gardner was a jazz musician. Well, I say he was a former jazz musician, and he was a middle school band teacher. And during the time, he was teaching middle school band for like some time, got a gig. And the good thing is, he was doing really well until he actually had a full-time. He was offered a full-time position as a middle school band teacher. Now, the look on his face you see in the movie, he seemed like okay. He was like, that's fine. At least I get a little bit more money and benefits, but I don't want to be trapped into a school. Like, I don't want to do this forever, but I still have the love for music, so I guess I just take it in and just, as long as it pays the bills. Till then, he got a call, from his from Buddy or whatever, and he had an opportunity to play for a gig, for Dorothea Williams. Dorothea Williams was a good famous jazz musician at the time, very locally, and she needed someone to help, to actually play in that void here for far as playing the piano. So he was a good pianist. He went there and he showed him what he got. And there you go. He got the gig. So he went out. He was very happy. He was excited, running around. Until then, he fell into a manhole, and that's when things will start getting very interesting. So he fell into the manhole. Believe that he didn't die, but he was in a coma. He was very unconscious. And then I like how the movie is set out to him. He was into this great beyond. He was supposed to set to the great beyond, is AKA the afterlife. And he was supposed to, either go to heaven or hell or something. His soul was supposed to ascend, from his body. But till then, he was very consciously aware, like in the soul and the spirit and the world. He was astral projecting. He was like, what? This is crazy. So he tried to, escape, and then he ended up going to the great before. And that was a whole other thing. And what I like about this movie, too, he met with 22. And 22 was a cynical soul, and she really couldn't define her purpose in life. She didn't know her purpose on earth. She was just there. She was there for ages, centuries, man. Till then, she found this young man that had a love for music, and she was just like analyzing his life, and they went through this whole adventure. But fast forward, he saw himself, in the hospital, and he tried to go back to earth and get back into his body. But what happened was he accidentally brought 22 with him, and therefore he ended up being a therapy cat for a temporary time. So I like how the movie, he was talking to him like, like he was the cat, like his life of pets or something, man. So he was the cat, and she was actually in his body. And now they had to navigate through this. It was, oh my God, I got to get back to my gig. They escaped from the hospital. He got to get some new clothes. And what I like about this too, even though she was in his life, she was in his body, she started to actually enjoy the little things about Earth, like far as like wearing new clothes, having deep conversations. Like it was Dash the barber there. I think it was a very powerful scene with Dash the barber. Like he was a great barber, but she was just saying like, what was your dream? Like, what did you really want to do? And he was like, I want to be a veterinarian. But things didn't work out after the Navy. I tried to go, but it was very expensive, and so he ended up just want to take up a trade. And he said he loved it. At first, he didn't think he didn't, but he actually, stood for himself. Like, no, I actually love it. It's a way for me to not only make money, but to make people feel better about their day, and just developing their texture and then cutting their hair like this. And then that's when she started to realize, like, wow, like your purpose and just actually enjoying what you want to do in life is all that matters. Money is shouldn't be the motive, and that's what I kind of got from this movie, man. And then you had Terry, who was an accountant. They always like to add these little antagonists there. Terry was pretty much making sure everybody's in line, not supposed to escape from the great before. So he was counting that. He was making sure that, okay, he escaped from the great before somehow, and this wasn't his time to go back to Earth, and he needs to have a bigger learning lesson. So let me go ahead and get him. So I can look at him as a protagonist and an antagonist at the same time. So he really wasn't a bad character in a way, man. He wasn't evil. He was just doing his job, But man, this movie was just so spiritual to me, man. 22, she ended felt bad and everything. I mean, after he went to the Dorothea Williams concert, whatever, they switched bodies. He ended up playing so well, and it was just really good, man. He reunited with his mother. His mother was very cynical about his job, saying that his career path, like, you're just gonna waste your life of just being a jazz musician, and you're not making no money coming in. It's unstable. Do they have benefits, pension? Like, what are you doing with your life? And a lot of brothers, man, and people in general go through this. Like, dang, like, I don't want to disappoint my parents, but deep inside, I want to get into craft. I want to do this, start my own business. I want to do these certain things. I want to go against the grain, but I have little support. And, I just think this movie was just kind of brought that out in a more creative way. I like how they had lost souls in there when they went back into the great before after they was captured by Terry. And 22 got really upset. She got angry because she didn't really understand her purpose in life. And that's when he went back to the great before to see what was going on with her. And, they actually reunited. And he came back, to himself. But man, it was a deep movie, man. Really good. I loved it. Very to the point. I give this an 8.2 out of 10. But I just want to say it up here, man. Take care of yourself, man, and your dreams, man. I always try to remember my purpose and everything on this earth. I always associate that with my love for God and spreading the good news. Not to press the set the oppressed free, little things like that. And like what Christ was doing, like he was very diligent and dedicated, and he knew what he was supposed to do at a small age, man. And a lot of human beings try to find that, especially during this pandemic. Like we trying to find, like, okay, what are we supposed to do in our lives here? Everything's shut down. It's not too much going on. Where it's like, do I really love my 9 to 5? Do I really love? Am I just existing? Like, am I? Do I really love myself? Do I love what I'm doing? And I'm doing this to the approval of other people. Like, if I'm just trying to do this so I can uphold society standards, like, what is the main reason for me to get up in the morning? It's to conform, like, So I like how this movie just brought on a lot of things, man. So this was good. Shouts out to Jamie Foxx for playing Joe Gardner, man. Playing that piano too. It reminds me when I played in jazz band. I was in jazz band, man, in middle school. And actually not middle school, high school, and I played string bass. It's very good, man. He had actually a little girl named Connie. Yeah, her name was Connie, and she played the trombone. Did a very good job, but she wanted to quit. And 22 was supposed to look, she was just saying all this stuff, maybe just see how you play. And then she was like, she realized, like, dang, I'm not as negative. I don't even really care for jazz like that. But until I actually heard it, and it make people feel good about themselves playing it, and they actually have some talent with it, they should go for it. Like, no matter what, no matter how you feel, like every day, like even if you're good at something, like you got to work on it. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And that's what I kind of learned, man. So as I say, this was a good movie. Shout out to Donna Murray for creating and producing this movie. This was good. So 8.2 out of 10. That's what I give this movie. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I think it's a worthwhile watch to see this, man. I'm out. Deuces.